The MCAS Student Growth Report uses a scatter plot to graph achievement and growth scores on the most recent MCAS assessment for a school or district. Click each of the on-screen questions to learn more about this report. This report displays a scatter plot showing annual MCAS student growth scores across the bottom axis and the percent proficient for each grade and subject area on the left axis. Each district is illustrated with a dot that shows its relative size. The data is initially displayed for English Language Arts, the most recent school year, and for all grade levels. But you can easily change the options using the drop-down menus at the top of the report. For example, you could run the report just for 4th grade math. The data go back as far as 2008. You will notice that when you hover over one of the bubbles on the graph, you see the school name, the number of students, the percent proficient, and the median SGP. Below the scatter plot, a table displays the data represented in the graph. It includes a list of all districts with their median student growth percentile, or median SGP, the percentage of students who achieved a proficient or higher performance level, and the number of students included in the median SGP calculation for that district. You can click on any district in the table to view a similar scatter plot and table, showing the growth and achievement of the schools in that district. Click the information icons to learn more about the median student growth percentile. Click the Next button to learn how to apply these reports to your work. How you use this report will differ depending on whether you are an administrator, a teacher, or a member of the community. Click the icon that best matches your role to learn more. For a school or district administrator, this report provides valuable information about how students in a given district performed on the MCAS and how much growth they've achieved compared to students with similar testing histories since the previous test. This can be valuable because you may find that high levels of growth exist in your district, even when the percentage of proficiency is not as high as you would like. Having both views of growth and achievement helps you understand student performance better. But before you dive into the data, you'll want to identify questions that can guide your exploration of the report and analysis of the data. Naturally, it's best if these questions reflect your unique interests and needs, but the questions shown here will get you started. For example, you might want to know how student performance and growth in your school or district compare to other schools or districts in the state. Viewing both achievement on MCAS and MCAS growth data will help you understand whether the strategies you are using to increase student performance are making the difference you expect. You also might be interested in seeing how all the schools in your district did on both growth and performance measures. Which schools show the most growth in the aggregate? Which show the highest achievement? If you filter by grade, how does the picture change? What might account for these differences? For an educator, this report provides valuable information about how students in your school performed on the MCAS and how much growth they've demonstrated compared to students with similar testing histories since the previous test. This can be valuable because you may find that high levels of growth exist in your district or school, even when the percentage of proficiency is not as high as you would like. Having both views of growth and achievement helps you understand student performance more deeply. As you look through the report, think about some of the questions you want to answer to help focus your navigation. You might want to know your school's median SGP to see how much growth students achieved on last year's MCAS test. Higher levels of growth can help you know whether instructional programs and strategies you have implemented are making the difference in student learning that you want to see. You also might want to identify schools that are similar in size to yours that have demonstrated higher growth in the last year or two. What can you learn from what is happening at those schools? How can you apply what they're doing to your own school? For a parent or member of the community, This report provides valuable information about how students in your child's school and district performed on the MCAS, and how much growth they've demonstrated compared to students with similar testing histories since the previous test. As you look through the report, think about some of the questions you want to answer to help focus your navigation. You might want to know the median SGP in your child's school to see how much growth students achieved on last year's MCAS test. Higher levels of growth can indicate that strategies the school has been implementing are working to help more students learn more, as compared to similar students in other schools and districts. You also may want to ask your principal about how your child's individual growth percentile relates to the median student growth percentile for the school. Growth is another way to understand how your child is progressing in school beyond just the achievement level they achieved. You also might want to know how your child's school's growth and performance compare to others in the state. The median SGP for the state is always at the 50th percentile, and school or district medians higher than the 60th percentile or lower than the 40th percentile are considered to be significantly different than typical growth. When you view the median SGP for a specific grade or subject, you may be able to see where your child's school is achieving growth that is significantly higher than typical growth. Once you've fully explored the MCAS student growth report and analyzed the data you found there, you'll want to plan next steps. The District Analysis and Review Tools, or DARTs, are excellent resources to help you track data over time with graphs and charts, and explore comparisons between districts and schools on a number of additional data points. For educators who have been granted secure access by their district, Edwin Analytics provides several reports for more detailed achievement analysis. These reports allow more robust and fine-grained analysis, depending on the user's level of access. For example, you can access similar scatter plots of achievement and growth at the state, district, school, student, and teacher level, and with the additional option to filter by grade or subgroup. Or you can dig into the standards and learn more about where students scored well and where they had challenges.